Welcome to Launch Day.
Hi everyone, this is Mustafa from Launch Day. Thank you for joining us again. Today I'm very honored to have a special guest, Todd Gross. Todd Gross is a former TV professional and digital marketer entrepreneur. Todd, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. This is so much fun. I am so excited to tell you about this new audio product called Soundso Real that actually is going to be responsible for me losing my regular voiceover work. My job is gone after this product. You won't believe how good this is.
Thank you, Todd. So first of all, would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, my name is Todd Gross. I had worked for many years in television as a broadcast meteorologist and an announcer, and I did voiceovers for many, many, many years. And that's one of the ways that I've been getting paid. And for about 5 or 6 years now, after I became a marketer, an entrepreneur, as you mentioned, um, I have been working with Oliver Goodwin on the Synthesis project. And what Synthesis is we take various different AI and we make it affordable, and we also make it very easy to understand in an easy dashboard so that it becomes available to everybody. And we've grown, but we were really the first to tap into the whole idea of text to speech, for the masses. So we did that about 5 or 6 years ago is when we first were doing it. We came out with some pretty good voices, but it turns out that now you can not only select from voices to use for your work, for your voiceover work, whatever it may be when you're making videos or many other things such as children's audio books or whatever. But now you can actually clone yourself or others. You could design the voices just by text, or you could actually direct the voices to speak differently, sentence by sentence. And I'll show you examples of that in just a minute. We call this amazing product Sound So Real.
Perfect. So Todd, what inspired you to create Sound So Real?
Well, we've been at the forefront of AI. I mean, that's what one of the things I've done. So I was always known as the video guy back around 2006, 2007. I just came onto the scene and I tried to bring video into sales pages and things like that. I was one of the first people to do that, to actually, come up with what we at the time called a squeeze page, or now you just think of it as a page where you're an opt-in page. My idea was to put videos on those pages. They actually didn't have them at the time. And that's one of the ways that I got famous was back then I said, why aren't there videos on that page? So then I also went to other marketers and I said, hey, I could do videos for your things that you're launching. Let me do the video for you. And that's what I was getting into. But then later in the 20 teens, like around 2019, 2020, we started experimenting, even a little before that, started experimenting with characters, AI characters, and AI voices. And we found that this is going to be the wave of the future. So the way we came up with the product, and the reason we said the product was so important to produce, is because we wanted to be on the forefront of that rather than follow everybody else. So we're in the forefront of the text to speech. When you hear what we can do now with text to speech, or text to voice, as I call it, it'll blow your socks off. I mean, it's just beyond anything that you've heard before.
Another question, Todd. So voice cloning is hot right now. How does Sound So Real ensure ethical and legal use when cloning voices?
See, that's a great question. It's become a gray area, and there are no real hard rules. So what we are able to do is with the package that we're going to give your folks, because you and I arranged a special deal. Um, your folks are going to get this package where they could get unlimited cloned voices. So
Mhm.
they could clone their own voice, their family's voice, their friends' voices, but they could also kind of go online and get virtually any actor's voice as well,
Exactly.
right? And there aren't any specific rules for that. I know that in the United States, Trump, as an example, is constantly cloning his political
Voice.
opponents' voices, using them. So there's
Mhm.
no real strict rules on that yet. But we're to be safe, we're saying clone any voice that you have the rights to. And we encourage you to do your own homework on that. If you feel comfortable utilizing somebody else's voice because you're using it in a setting where you're not going to get in trouble, then we're going to leave that up to you to decide. But for me, you're going to hear me in this interview right now do not Samuel L. Jackson, but do Morgan Freeman's voice. I took a clip of Morgan Freeman, the actor,
Yeah,
and I cloned his voice, and you'll hear that in this actual interview that I'm doing with you right now because I'm going to do a demo in just a minute.
yeah, true. So before going to the demo, what's your favorite use case you have personally seen with SoundsoReal?
Okay, so that's another good question. So my favorite personal use case is to take your regular voice, like what you're speaking right now,
Yeah,
with a bit of an accent that's not, for instance, a United States accent. So let's say you wanted to take your voice and apply it to you know, a US audience. You
yeah,
could take an American sounding actor voice and you could apply it to your voice automatically. So you can take a clip of your speaking and it will match the exact clip. So, for instance, if we took this interview
yeah.
right now that we're doing here and we stripped the voice part of the interview of you and we applied a new voice to it, we could then put it back in. Of course, you need a video editor to do that, but you could put it back in and it would actually match the exact lip sync and the
Wow.
exact cadence of how you're speaking. So my favorite thing to do on this, that's one of my favorites. The other favorite I just ran into in another interview I was doing, I couldn't believe you could design the voice with just a text prompt. I want to make that clear.
Wow.
So I want a movie trailer voice, but I said a young man doing a movie trailer voice. And when I did that, I created an incredibly good movie trailer voice. And then I had that voice read script that I was given personally to read. Somebody hired me to do it, and it came out better, much better than when I read the script. And I said, wow, this is cool. That's just from me just typing. And I'll show you that on the inside as well.
Yeah, perfect. So finally, what kind of commercial rights do buyers get with SoundReal? So can they
Yeah, so
enter
we're
it?
including the commercial license, which
Yeah.
allows you to use it for clients. So you could be an agency and use it for local clients as an example. And one of the features in there is the ability to actually pick from many different niches that we have in there so that you could pick a voice that's already designed. So what I'm saying is, we have the text prompts all ready to go for all these various different niches. You can have, let's say, a lawyer's voice, a voice of somebody who is very athletic. We have all these different niches, and then you just click a button, and then it's going to populate the text for that particular niche and design the voice exactly the way you want. And then that will be one of your saved voices. I mean, it's really incredible.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I think it's time to start the demo.
All right, let me actually share this. This
Sure.
is live, by the way. This is not like a canned demo. So just kind of bear with me as I share my
Sure, take
screen.
your time. Yeah.
Okay, it's here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so this is the actual software. You're looking at it right here. So
Hmm.
the very first thing that popped up is something on the left here called multi-person. And I'm going
Yeah,
to start with that since it's already up. And multi-person would be, let's say you want to produce something like a podcast, all right, where the
perfect.
first person, which is here, you'd require some script, and then the second person is here, you'd require some script. I happen to have some script handy, so I could show you what I mean. Now, you could make this very simple, or we actually made one that was a little bit more, um, I guess, complex, but you don't have to have it complicated. It could be very simple. So the first thing we did is we actually gave acting instructions for a parenting podcast. So here we wrote, deliver the conversation with warmth and authenticity as if two close friends are sharing real parenting experiences. So all I have to do is take this right here
Hmm.
and copy it. And then in the software itself, on the upper right, do you see on the upper right there,
Yes, action
which is acting
instructions.
instructions? I just paste that in. Okay.
Hmm.
Then we'd go back, and now here's the dialogue. See where it says male host, thoughtful, parenting is wild. 1 minute you're teaching ABCs. So we'll take that and copy it, and then we'll put that in the dialogue here on the top. All right. And then one more time. Now we're going to take the female below that, where it says female host laughs. See how
Yeah.
it says laughs? Oh, yes. Like when my son asked me why the sky doesn't fall down. Okay. So we're going to copy that. And then we're going to put that in here. And then from there, we just click generate speech. Now, I think I already have a version of this up so you could hear how it came out. It
Yes,
only
please.
takes like half a minute, but here's the actual, what we just did. This is how it comes out.
Parenting is wild. One minute you're teaching ABCs, the next you're answering questions about the universe.
Oh, yes. Like
It's
when
a
my
laugh.
son asked me why the
That's
sky doesn't
unbelievable.
fall down. I had no idea, but I loved his curiosity.
That's the magic, right? Kids remind us to see the world with wonder. Their questions keep us learning too.
Absolutely. And it's not about having all the answers, it's about listening and growing together.
So that's
Wow,
just
that's amazing.
podcast, but yeah, that's what we came up with there. So that's just one feature. All right. Then the main feature, I'll start you at the top, is creating voices.
Hmm.
So on the upper right here, it says create or clone a voice.
Yeah.
So you have here voice design. This is where I produced the movie trailer voice just moments ago. All I did is I wrote right here, create um a, a young man who is with a deep commanding voice who narrates commercials to make movie trailers. All right, so that's all I wrote, and I'll show
Mhm.
you what I actually came up with because I've already done this. I just did it a few minutes ago. So in my voices, see it says best movie voice right here. That's the one I created. It's at the top.
Yeah,
And we'll
can
listen
we hear
to
it?
the example.
Yes.
Now remember, that's all I wrote, and this is I'm going to play what it came out with.
In a world where shadows dance and secrets lie, one hero will rise. This summer, prepare for an epic adventure that will redefine courage. The
That's
Last
cool.
Stand, coming soon to a theater near you.
They just made that up. The
Yeah, yeah,
Last
that's
Stand.
amazing.
I didn't even write that. They just made that up as an example so we could hear what it will sound like. So
Yeah,
then I
that's
said,
amazing.
it won't really sound as good as that in real life, will it? That's what I
Okay.
thought. But then what I did is I went to the text to speech section and I didn't realize this is funny because this is something that I was hired to read.
Yeah.
So you see this right here where it says, "Hi everyone, Everett, your friendly foodie detective here. We've scouted the best of everything local to present to you." I'm supposed to read that for somebody. That's for an actual client.
Yeah.
I hope he's not watching this because he's not going to hire me anymore after he hears this. So if I go to my voice library, and I pick from my voices that best movie voice and I write use, so now I can apply that voice and just generate the speech by just clicking generate speech. So I just downloaded this a few moments ago, rather than us waiting 45 seconds or so. Let's see, it should have downloaded. And we'll have here, I think this is it. Open, and we'll listen to it in QuickTime.
Hi, everyone. Everett, your friendly foodie detective here. We've scouted the best of everything local to present to you.
That's
For our
the same
foodies who love that
movie
special
voice.
dish that brings joy to their day, look what we have for you. A limited time only special offer is for spicy Thai food. I have Natalie in our studio to give you the full details.
Now, what's so fascinating about how well that clip was read
Hmm.
is that the actual grammar is not great. It wasn't done that well originally from the original writer of that clip. And
Yeah.
I've always struggled reading that. But our voiceover that we chose, our best movie voice guy that we just made,
Yeah.
actually kind of figured out the flaws and,
Fix them.
and compensated for it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he read it even better than I can read it, which I was stunned at. Um, anyway, I'm very excited about that, but that's another thing that can be done.
Yeah, so Todd, you have launched a lot of great products. Why do you believe SoundsoReal will be one of your biggest?
All right, let me stop sharing the screen so that I can
Yes, sure.
speak to you. Okay, here we go. So the other feature, of course, that's in there is the cloning. And you could clone anyone's voice with just a 10 or 15-second clip, which is obviously a big, big tool as well. And then you could also translate as well. Now, why do I think this will be our biggest product? Is
Yeah,
because this is obviously on the cutting edge, the leading edge of something that's massive. It's something that we've been leading up to all this time from the past several years. And with such a massive change, when we're finally crossing over the end, sort of like AGI, we're crossing over into a new realm here, at least in the voice part of AI, where we no longer can determine when it's a human being or it is an actual AI voice. And being able to clone the voices, to generate the voices with text, but more importantly, to hear such realistic voices, I mean, that just opens the door for many, many, many people to do many things. For instance, they no longer have to hire someone to do a voiceover. They can create these voiceovers for other people and get paid for it. You
yeah,
can make audiobooks, especially if you think about a children's book.
yeah,
Um, the audiobook thing is a big deal because previously you needed really good actors, voice actors, to be
yeah,
able to read a whole audiobook. But here, with the unlimited number of characters, you'll be able to do full audiobooks. But the way most people will be using it is for faceless content on social media.
yeah,
And with such an application as that, with being able to make such good quality content with such a good voice, it's going to skyrocket what you could do in terms of your views and your social media, accounts. And I think that's how most people are going to use it. And I think that's why this is one of the best products we've ever come out with.
yeah, makes sense. So, last but not least, Todd, any discount for our audience?
A discount? You want a discount?
Yeah, of course, for our
All
audience.
right, sure. I'll tell you what. We have arranged to have a special webinar on Thursday night and Friday morning. And we're going to have a special discount again, 9 p.m. Thursday night, and again at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. If you
Yeah,
get it when in one of those two webinars, your audience will get a special discount. And you will be very surprised when you see the whole package and how affordable and inexpensive it is. This isn't one of these crazy products where it's, out of reach. This is going to be in reach for almost everyone.
yeah, thank you, Todd. So, guys, it's time to join the link below. So,
Very
thank
good.
you again, Todd, for your time and hope to host you again.
You bet. And definitely, yeah, fill in, your information in below, and we will see you on the webinar. We'll have a much bigger demo there of all the features.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.